The Bersa TPR 380, an update to the old Thunder 380. Coming up, you'll see absolute first shots through the gun. We'll try full magazine plus one. Take it over to the What's for Dinner table to see what it eats. Give it a try on the spinner for sights and trigger control. Do some practical accuracy and then give you concluding thoughts. All that coming up next on GBGuns. As you guys saw in the tabletop, along with the update, I'm inspired to try gripping a little bit differently than I normally do. So target camera's got our reduced size torso out there at about 20 yards. And I'm gonna try the support hand trigger finger forward, wrapping around the trigger guard. There's good traction on this new grip, and it's a small gun. I've got big hands. So let's see how that works. 8 rounds of PMC bronze, thanks to our patron supporters. An ammo squared. This is an ammo squared ammo that came to us. Try first round in the double action. Now, changing grip does give excuse for poor shooting, but I'm going to try anyways. Looks like my shots are a little low. And you know, my finger is slipping off. I think I'm going to go back to my regular grip. Certainly feeling the punch in the hand that you get with a blowback gun. But otherwise, not bad to shoot at all. Gun ran just fine. You just want to be aware of where that beaver tail is going to make contact in your hand, especially with a small gun. Now let's try a full mag plus one. I noticed while I was loading up the mags that the new mag that came with this new pistol is numbered 1 through 8 on the side, whereas my older mags, which are from the previous Thunder 380s that we reviewed, do not have that feature on them. So that was another update they made. Decock. There's our 1 and 8. Did require a little bit of push, but it gives you 9 rounds of 380 on tap. The gun only comes with 1 mag, but should you want to, well, you'd probably really want to top off at that point. How's it run with 9? All right, I found my aiming point towards the end there. Had to go a little high and right. These sights are adjustable. I may be doing an adjustment. We'll see how it does in the rest of our tests before we decide. Thanks to our Ammo Squared and patron supporters, it's What's for Dinner time. Test where we look to see what will the gun eat. As I roll down this, you'll notice that we've got quite a variety of projectile weight, going from 50 to 102 grains today. We've got different case materials, different projectile types and shapes, ogives in different locations. We're looking to see, will it feed from slide lock, cycle the round and feed another of the same type, and will it lock open on empty. Anything beyond that's testing the magazine. We're just looking to see how it runs in the gun. If you want to try any of these out yourself, check the pinned comment for the link over to gbgunsdepot.com, where the full review of this gun will be, as well as links to this ammo where we can find it. Target camera rolling. Let's see what it eats. Now, a note, since I am using older magazines along with the new magazine, if we have an issue, just to make sure it's not the magazine, because magazines do wear out over time, we'll check which mag it was and retry that same load with the fresh magazine. Our first load, the 50 grain plus P Liberty Ammunition Civil Defense, 1,500 feet per second advertised in the box. That is screaming, folks. Am I about to regret shooting plus P out of a blowback? We'll find out. I'm going to do all of these with the first round in double action, since that's how this gun is likely to be carried anyways. Let's get a feel for it. Plus P is not bad. That actually, I think because the projectile is so light, that was not a bad round at all to shoot. My first shot was perfect. Second and third went to the same high location. I thought the second one was maybe the gun just being a little squirrely in my hand. It's hot out, and this is a small pistol for my hand size. We'll see. Next at 85 grain is the Winchester Silver Tip Jacketed Hollow Point defensive load. Tried to bias the What's for Dinner to defensive loads, since this is obviously a carry gun. Circle 2. not bad. And also shot nicer than the PMC did at the initials. Either that or I'm just getting used to it. The PMC was a little jarring, but those two so far, not bad at all. Next, the Remington HTP. This is 88 grain jacketed hollow point. It's an affordable hollow point in an affordable pistol. Decocked. Still airing right. I think the sights might be a little right on this. Those also were not that bad. I'm curious, those of you that shoot a lot of 380 ball ammo, what's your thought on PMC? Is it spicy? In the 9mm configuration, it's not necessarily spicy. Our fourth load is going to be the Spear Gold Dot. This is a 90 grain, and I need to go reattach the target. So Spear Gold Dot, circle 4. Now in theory, the more holes I put in the paper, the less it's going to blow around, right? That stuff's spicier. Yeah, that is not pleasant to shoot. Whew, that hurts. That yeah. Let's not do any more of the gold dots. It gripped all right, but still hitting right. So it's certainly these sights. I'm not going to make any adjustments midstream and change things up. Blazer aluminum, 95 grain. Oh, we also did not get slide lock on that Spear Gold Dot. So I'd say just avoid that stuff altogether for this pistol. Much more comfortable. Yeah, that was a significant change in recoil impulse. Maybe not bad practice stuff. Group was okay. I'm gonna call that one okay. Next, another range load, Fiocchi 95 grain, claiming 960 feet per second. Circle 7. That shoots nice. I enjoyed that. Did not get slide lock. However, I did notice that my thumb was right at the slide lock lever. That's just how my hands fit this gun. So I might be causing that malfunction. I'm going to say it is me, not the gun. Spear Lawman's 95 grain. Traditionally, this stuff is a little bit hotter. Circle 8. Not bad. Yeah. Same right hitting. You know, to be totally frank with you, after shooting so many finer, reduced recoil, magic, and long slide pistols, the idea of a blowback 380 had me a little nervous, and that those first PMC shots, it's like, this is going to be a painful review. No, I think it's totally ammo and grip. Don't be afraid of the blowback. And mechanically, it's the most accurate. The barrel's not moving, so you should have really good accuracy. We'll see if I can tighten things up. Browning BPT 95 grain is next. This is a snub-nosed round. This has more recoil to it. Punches a little better. I think I'm having struggles just because the gun is so small in my hand. Even with this new grip profile, I'm not able to really get a good hold on it. Somehow I missed circle number 5, so we're gonna jump back there for the Federal HST's 99 grains. It's labeled that it's for a micro pistol. I wouldn't quite call this micro, but it's certainly small. The heat is certainly cooking my brain. Just trying to see how fine I can work that trigger. Those certainly have some recoil. Again, no slide lock. Again, my thumb is right there at the slide lever. Sorry folks, that's my failure. All right, now back over to circle 10 for the Remington Ultimate Defense Compact Handgun, 102 grain. Very, very heavy for caliber. Looks a lot like their Golden Saber round in that it's got a brass jacket and nickel plated case. Circle 10. A little bit better group. Got slide lock that time, and I also noticed that I'm not getting any slide bite, which is excellent. Shows that this beaver tail is definitely working, and the grips work, at least in that sense. Pistol might be too small for my hands. I hope that's not causing a false bias in performance on here. We're going to try the spinner. 380 does not have as much energy as 9mm, and this is a short barrel. Is it going to be enough? We'll find out, but really that's not the point of the spinner, is not knocking it over. It's to test the sights and trigger control. Resting in the nice cool shade over there is our 6-inch Tight Neck Great Outdoors spinner target. We're about 12 yards away. I'm going to stand right next to the target, or the camera, but I'm going to leave you guys zoomed in so you can see. Use this for sights and trigger control because as I hit it, it starts moving. And when it moves, that makes timing a well-placed shot more important, which means reading your sights and being able to place that shot with a good trigger gets more important. Remembering that we've got a slight right bias, I'm going to err left in my holds, and I'm going to start in double action. I'm using that same PMC bronze. Why? Because it's what I got a lot of. Some double action first shot. Looks like I maybe hit high. Almost over the top with a little 380. It can be done, folks. TPR 380, little bitty gun, little bitty sights. That classic Bersa trigger that's pretty darn good. Made that actually fairly easy. I could time my shots. It was just a matter of getting the sights, and really for me the biggest struggle that I had was recentering the gun in my hand, just because it's a bit, I mean, I can nearly wrap my fingers back to the meat of my thumb on one hand. This is a gun that I could probably shoot decently single-handedly without a support hand. The problem I have is trying to get my support hand in there, then that ends up kind of shifting things, and I think that's what's causing my shooting errors. I think it's totally me and not the pistol, but the pistol is capable, folks. It's just a matter of learning how to do it. For practical accuracy, I will also be using that PMC bronze because we've got a lot of it. Shooting at a 1-inch square from 7 yards. Typically, that square ends up being about the same size when viewed through sights as a full sight post. First shot in double action. Let's see how I can do. Way high right. Not my best performance by far. So much so that I want to try a different load of ammunition. See which one did well for us. You know, the Blazer aluminum was pretty easy to shoot. I'm going to put 5 rounds of that in the right circle square and see if I'm having a bad day or we've got an accuracy issue here. On a fixed barrel gun like this, having an accuracy issue, generally the shooter or the ammo. Could be that adjustable sight wandering a little bit, but that doesn't explain a vertical string. See, not trying to make excuses, trying to figure out the reason here. That was much better. Not the best, but it's a gun smaller than my hand size permits. I think our problem before was probably ammunition related. Too bad I've got so much aftershots on the TPR 380. There's definitely a hand size for it. It's not double XL. The new grip setup felt good. The finger forward thing didn't work for me, but that's not a method that I shoot very often. So if you are one of those folks who does, please let us know in the comments if you've learned any tips or tricks. It was an unfair evaluation for me to attempt a new technique while trying to evaluate a pistol. That's why I stopped doing it. The grips do feel good. The shifting in my hand was not an issue of traction so much as it was just too large of a hand for the pistol. I think maybe throwing like a rubberized sleeve type thing on might help. Recoil, I know I said this earlier, but don't be afraid to blow back. Just try different ammunition. There were a couple loads in What's for Dinner that were really unpleasant to shoot, and there were several loads that were just fine. So if you've tried one of these, because there are over 1 million of the Thunder 380, the predecessor to this, in the US, and you think the gun is awful or snappy, try some different ammo. I really felt a big difference going across the spectrum that we did here today, which included both defense and range ammo. It's totally up to the ammo. The trigger was nice and predictable. That made it very easy to do on the spinners. The sights, for me, were a bit of a struggle with my vision on this day in this light. I might consider swapping to a different sight setup once I find out what the sight cut is. Hopefully I'll have that answer for you in the article that's down in the pinned comments. But not a bad gun. You get that Walther PPK-esque size and feel. Very affordable all metal pistol. Now with a rail on it, thanks to this overmold setup. I would use that rail for a light, probably not a laser. I don't know. Go with laser grips, I think. But not a terrible gun. It's reliable. It's trustable. I love that you have the option to decock and leave safety on for the people who are absolutely safety minded like that, or leave safety off. And then you've got this nice long, plenty of room on that double action before it's actually going to fire, so you don't have to worry about it getting bumped that way. And then you've got the key lock if you want to have it somewhere pseudo available. I'm not sure that I would use the key lock as a home defense option of like having it in the drawer but locked kind of thing, and then you're fumbling for the key and to unlock this thing. I think I'd rather just store this safely and have it decocked safety off as a home defense option. But for bag carry, pocket carry, that decock double action is going to be plenty safe, and the gun is plenty slim enough. And 380 still has some energy to it. I know it gets mocked at times, and people say you should just go 9mm. I have yet to find anyone to volunteer to be shot with anything that's how we review here on the channel, and certainly not 380. The same ammunition advancements that hit 9mm have also hit 380 and been tuned to perform well at those lower velocities. So there's actually some pretty good defense rounds out there, and you've got less chance of over penetrating, which if you live in a populated area or in a building with lots of people, other people around, or if you ever think that the time you have to use a gun for self-defense, it may not be just you and a bad guy. It's kind of nice to have a round that you know is going to stop in the bad guy and not go through and harm someone else. Because the unfortunate reality of today's society is every round fired in self-defense has at least one lawsuit attached to it. Whether or not you're completely justified or not, whether or not you save, trying to think of an honorable person that would really, you save a very honorable person and become the town hero, in some jurisdictions, you could still end up going to jail. So it's important that your ammo selection for self-defense is a smart one. That concludes the TPR 380. I think personally, I'm going to stick with the double stack, the plus model of it, just because I prefer that capacity. However, this being a single stack is slim, and these magazines are super slim. Very easy to stash some of these in a pocket. Just practice your reloads so you can get good at it and be proficient. Single stacks worked just fine for a long time for a lot of people. That's a decision that's up to you. Thanks for watching.